This is the Highly Sensitive Club, episode number 67. Have you been told you're too sensitive, too dramatic, or too much? Do you have big feelings and deep thoughts you don't always know what to do with? I'm Stephanie Linn, a certified life coach and highly sensitive person. I've helped dozens of highly sensitive clients feel more energized, more confident, and more in control of their high sensitivity. In these episodes, you'll get the information and inspiration to level up your life as a highly sensitive person too. Welcome to the Highly Sensitive Club. Hello, highly sensitive person, and welcome to this week's episode of the Highly Sensitive Club. The topic for today's podcast is how to work in your energetic cycle. If you were born in a female body, you have feminine hormones, which means a combination of estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone, then you have a monthly cycle. If you were born a male, you are cycling through testosterone throughout your day. There are different chemicals and different hormones going through your body, and we have different energetic cycles. As a highly sensitive person, not only do you have your hormonal cycles, but you also have mental cycles during your day too. I am very lucky. I've always been a morning person. I've always woken up naturally, sometime between 6 and 7, maybe 7:30. And I wake up with the sun. I'm energized. I'm ready to go. My most inspiring and most motivated time of day has always been in the morning. If I want to get something done that's really important to me, I know that the best time to do it is in the morning. And that's when I'm going to have my most inspiration to be able to create things that I want to create in the world. However, I also have had many highly sensitive people, clients, friends, students who have a completely different energetic cycle. Many highly sensitive people have an energetic cycle where your day starts in the afternoon. Somewhere around midday, maybe in the early afternoon, maybe later in the afternoon, that's when you get your burst of energy. You can plan your day so that you're doing rote tasks in the morning as you're still waking up. Maybe you sleep in until 10 or 11, and then you shift your day into a later time. It's totally fine for you to be inspired, motivated, and creative in the afternoon. I also have highly sensitive people who are night owls. You are at your most creative sometime between 11 p.m. and 1 or 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. All of these things are totally okay. If you have a job or you have external structure in your life where you need to become a morning person because that's where the majority of the Western world is situated, that can present some challenges, but that's nothing you can't overcome. That's just a situation. I want you to think about what your energy levels look like during the day. What do your hormone cycles look like? Do you have monthly cycles? Do you have daily cycles? Or do you have energetic weekly cycles or seasonal cycles? Consider what your energy looks like during the day from a mental and emotional standpoint. Do you tend to have the most energy, inspiration, creativity, and motivation in the morning, in the afternoon, or at night? Depending on which of those circumstances you have, you can start to make adjustments, you can change your thoughts, you can change your beliefs, and you can actually design your life to match your energy levels. This might seem very challenging, especially if you're going against the grain, but I totally believe that it is possible for you. The reason I wanted to talk about this today is because I am deeply invested with learning about women's cycles. I was on synthetic birth control. I took the pill for 10 years and did not know that synthetic hormonal birth control could contribute to greater instances of cervical cancer. It could contribute to greater instances of breast cancer, and it also suppresses your natural hormones. At least for me, suppressing my hormones with synthetic hormones meant that I didn't have a lot of access to my natural estrogen and testosterone. I was constantly tired. It was basically like I was in the energy level right before my period all the time for many years. I'm kind of impressed with myself. I had so much willpower and I had so much drive and desire to do things that my ambition really carried me through to do hard things, even though I didn't have the energy for it. About 2 years ago, I got off of the pill. I started the fertility awareness method, which is not the rhythm method. If you want to know more, you can always put it in the comments. Ask me more about it. I love talking about it. Send me an email. I would love to chat with you about it. Essentially, it's tracking your actual symptoms. Instead of looking at the Farmer's Almanac to see what you expect the weather to be like, you literally step outside and check the weather. That's how fertility awareness method works. You actually check your body, you check your basal body temperature, fluids, all kinds of things to see where am I energetically in my month. I have started eating with my cycle and I've started fasting with my cycle. 3 years ago, when I started learning about this stuff, I thought, how could you possibly do that? I was deeply entrenched in productivity and hustle culture. I thought that I couldn't get things done if I wasn't working 24/7 every single week of every single month, that I needed to hit it with the same consistency and the same energetic output, no matter what the day was, how I was feeling, what my mood was. Compound that with being a highly sensitive person and having different energetic modes that I'm in, whether I'm picking up on other people's stuff or not, how well I'm regulating my own nervous system. All of those things contributed to this cocktail of constantly feeling overwhelmed, burnt out, exhausted, ignoring my body and thinking that's what I was supposed to do. Getting onto this new system where I'm tracking my own hormones, I'm tracking my own energy levels, I'm very in tune with how my body works and what my energy levels look like, I can make informed decisions. I help my clients figure out versions of this as well, whether we're talking about their hormonal cycles and I'm pointing them to resources that are more robust than what I can offer, or whether we're tracking what kind of energy they have throughout the day. Either way, this becomes a part of the conversation that I have with my highly sensitive clients. How are you using your energy? Are you pushing yourself at times of the day, hormonally or mentally and emotionally, when you don't have the energy and you're trying to force yourself into a system or a cycle that doesn't actually work with what you have? This does take a little bit of advocacy, and it takes having constructive conversations, maybe setting some boundaries, making requests or suggestions that might feel a little bit uncomfortable, but you can actually design a day and a life that matches your energy levels. If you have been listening live, I am coming back from a month without the podcast. There were lots of reasons for this, most of which were instigated by getting COVID for the third time and being knocked on my butt for an entire week. But there were a lot of other things that contributed to the decision to take a break, make an announcement that I was going to be back in a few weeks, and then regroup on things. I was recording the podcasts on a weekly basis. And yes, this procrastination is classic for highly sensitive people. I was using a lot of willpower because some weeks I felt very energized, some weeks I didn't feel very energized. I kept thinking, okay, I'm going to time my recordings to the times of the month when I'm feeling particularly energized. Then something would happen because I wasn't preparing adequately and I would miss the window. And then I would be pushing to do the podcast recordings to summon up the energy and the creativity in the moment when I really wanted to rest and take things more slowly and more easy. There was a lot of self-judgment around needing to do things differently according to where my body actually is. I was basically arguing with the reality of my situation. Maybe this is familiar for you, highly sensitive person, because our imaginations, while so vivid and robust and so magical for many of us, we can also use them against ourselves. We imagine that every day should be like our best ever day. That one time out of 100 when we nail everything and it's perfect and it goes exactly the way that we envisioned, we think every day is supposed to be like that. Then we use that against ourselves to make ourselves feel guilty or overwhelmed or stressed or burnt out. That is not how life works. You can approach yourself according to whatever the best of your current day is. My best today is going to be completely different from what my best looks like 3 days from now. That's okay. When you learn to accept that and be okay with where your body is and where your mental and emotional health are, you can flow with yourself much more easily and things don't have so much resistance to them. It doesn't feel like you're slogging through your day. I want to give you a caveat, highly sensitive person, because working with your cycles does not mean that suddenly I don't work for 2 weeks out of the month, or that I can't do things that I want to do because my hormones have shifted and I don't have the energy. This isn't true. Many of us who are high achievers, ambitious, driven, big-hearted people who want to make change in our lives and for the people around us, many of us have learned that productivity cycle where you go, go, go all the time. You have proven to yourself that no matter what your energy level is, you can expand your capacity. You can do things that feel uncomfortable or aren't in flow, and you can still get them done. I want to acknowledge this because I don't want you to make yourself wrong for either being productive and ignoring your body, which I have definitely done, my clients have done, we all do that at times, or for trusting your body and feeling guilty that you should be doing more with your time or being more productive. In both of these extremes, you put yourself into this self-judgment mode where you paralyze yourself because you constantly feel like you're doing something wrong, even though you're just trying to follow your natural rhythms and your natural cycles. Trying to record podcast episodes when I'm feeling particularly low energy and I'm feeling unmotivated and uninspired, I could summon up the creativity. I can get excited to share something with you, and I did, but it took so much effort and so much energy for me to coach myself into that space of belief and energy and creativity. I was showing up to this podcast with a sense of wanting to be present for the sake of being present rather than because I was excited to share something with you. Taking some time ended up being for the best. It made sense because I had gotten myself into a situation where I was constantly procrastinating, but I also was not in the mental or energetic space to be able to share something valuable with you either. Today, I am breaking the cycle and recording at the point in my cycle when I have the most testosterone, the most estrogen. I'm feeling very energized. I just went to another cacao circle this morning and had the most incredible group conversation with wonderful, highly sensitive people, big-hearted healers, very cool people who are into spirituality and digging deeper, self-reflection. It was so inspiring. I knew I wanted to go to the cacao circle. I wanted to have this great conversation with people, have this heart opener, get inspired, channel the creativity, and then take this high energy, actually work with my system and go record a bunch of podcasts. So for the next few weeks, in addition to the interviews that you're going to hear, you are hearing my energy carrying through because I'm working with my own cycles. You're going to hear the same excitement in next week's episode and next week's episode, the same kind of energetic clarity in every single one because I'm recording them all in a batch at my highest energy level. This was the action that I knew I wanted to take all along. In addition, I also picked a day to record when I know that the house is empty. This is so crucial for me as a highly sensitive person and probably for you as well, because we are very aware of what our environment feels like. If there are other people in our environment, even if they're on the other side of the house, even if we're in a soundproofed room, even if they are busy doing their own things, we are still aware of other people in the space. Giving myself the grace to record in a completely empty house at my highest energy levels when I am excited to share things and I'm feeling inspired because I've filled my cup with community. That is the way to do this. All I have to do is save this space every month so that the energy is so much clearer and my message is so much clearer. Literally, I also have more clarity of speech too. This is what is so powerful about being in energetic alignment with your own cycles and your own body. The reframe that I want to offer you to is that by taking a break, I was able to do the belief and the possibility work that I wanted to do in order to feel excited and inspired to record more podcast episodes. I joined a 6-week program with other small business owners, and I was getting a ton of inspiration and a ton of topics out of those conversations. I have had amazing client sessions, and I've been paying closer attention to the themes that are coming up for my clients. I've been looking for patterns between all of them that I could then use to help you, a highly sensitive person. And I've been getting more in touch with my own basics so that I could get my energy back into the right state to be able to share valuable information and insights with you. There were 3 things that I did to recalibrate my energy back into the space where I was excited to share things with you. You can do this exact same thing to make progress toward your goals, whether that's having a difficult conversation, starting a new habit like an exercise or an eating routine, whether that's wanting to change how and who you're being in your relationships, whether you want to change something about your performance, or you want to grow a business or start a business or change careers, or just lean into your current job and not feel so miserable and feel like you have autonomy, you can do all of those things with these 3 methods. I have found that they are the secret to success for me and for all of my clients as well. Number 1 is to feel your emotions. This is something that a lot of us highly sensitive people resist because we learned very early that our emotions were very big. They might have overstimulated our nervous system. You may have gotten the message from people that you cared about that your big emotions and your big expressions were not acceptable, that they were too much, that it was too much to handle, or that certain emotions were not welcome. So you taught yourself to think about and intellectualize your emotions. You taught yourself to ignore your body's sensations that your emotions were creating and to try to get out of uncomfortable emotions as soon as possible. When you slow down and you feel your emotions in your body, you actually gain energy. I know it feels scary because it feels like, no, my emotions are way too big. I will be completely overwhelmed and it will be like a tidal wave that completely overwhelms me and engulfs me. You can trust yourself. If, caveat, you have trauma or if you have a very strong emotional response to specific buttons or stimulus, seek out a mental health professional. This is where counselors and therapists are the best people to work with you, people who have training in how to deal with trauma, how to deal with depression, how to deal with anxiety, and how to deal with addictive behaviors. If those things start to come up and you start to get flooded, you want to work with a mental health professional. If you are avoiding very natural emotions that do not have deep triggers or deep trauma for you, such as disappointment, guilt, stress, doubt, anger, sadness, any of those emotions that you sense, okay, I do have big feelings, but I think I can handle this. If you lean into them, even if you just dip your toe in, this is the magic power of feeling your own emotions because they will fade. This is the key, that you don't try to rush out of the emotions. You actually stick with them and you're very present to what's going on in your body regarding your emotions. Your emotions are vibrations that create sensations in your body, and each emotion is going to feel slightly different, even from similar emotions. The sensations of jealousy and envy might be very similar in your body, but they are slightly different and there are nuances to them, which is why a highly sensitive person actually has even better skills than the average person to be able to discover those nuances and to feel the sensations in your body as you're processing through emotions. The key is not to rush and to be very present and mindful with the sensations, knowing that you're not trying to escape them. You're literally just holding space for these emotions. And you will find that it never takes as much time as you think it's going to take to move through them. The goal is not necessarily to move through them and to rush through it. The goal is to hold presence for them, and then you find that they naturally fade. You might even keep them with you. I had this intense sensation of envy earlier today, and I thought, what if I don't need to rush out of this? What if I just go and have a conversation and I let the envy stay with me and see where it goes? As soon as I walked through the door to have this conversation, I didn't even notice the envy anymore. It had naturally faded because I had just let it be there. The emotions that I was feeling about the podcast were obligation, resistance, and pressure. Feeling what those feel like in my body. Resistance is a very tight sensation. I have this sense of almost pressing outwards from the inside and feeling like I'm protecting myself from everything around me at all times. There's this energetic push outwards, which makes it very hard for me to call in things or even to channel and then to let them out. When you're spending so much time resisting, it is exactly like Newton's second law. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Your resistance will have an equal and opposite energetic push back on you. By feeling the emotions and letting them fade, I created space. There was a void or a vacuum in which I could actually put things into it that made me feel inspired, motivated, creative, and energized. When you let your emotions naturally fade by paying attention to the sensations and being present with them, then you can work on your belief and your possibility. Belief is leaning into things being available to you. This is the difference with toxic positivity. In toxic positivity, you're basically just trying to change your mind about something. You're trying to flip the switch and think a pleasant thought in order to feel better in your body and in your mind. That doesn't work because your mind knows better. Your subconscious is like, yeah, you're telling me that everything's fine, but I don't believe it. I don't have evidence. I'm not seeing that everything is actually fine. So you can tell me as much as you want. I'm not going to believe you. It's like a political argument. When you get into conversations with people who really don't want to hear the other side, that is exactly what it's like when you try to give yourself a positive thought that you simply don't believe. In order to have belief, you can go through the process of just leaning into ladder thoughts. These are thoughts that help you get from the thought you're currently at to the thought you want to get at. These are neutral thoughts, or they're thoughts that open possibility for you. The belief thoughts that work the best for me when I am really having trouble believing something are, it's possible. It's possible that someone really misses the podcast. It's possible that everything that I've shared so far has a ton of value, and that by promoting it, I can actually get it into more hands and more ears and more hearts so that it can help more people. It's possible that if I'm working with my cycle, I can channel more creativity, more inspiration, and help more people with a much more clear message. It's possible that I have not run out of ideas, that there are always new ideas. There's someone waiting to hear what I'm trying to share because this is valuable and I want to help you. If it has worked for me and I've worked through my own crap, then I can turn it around, offer it back to you, and maybe it'll help you too. Getting back into that possibility helped me be open to feedback from other people who were saying, oh, yeah, I really like that podcast episode that you shared with me. Or my client who said, I literally stopped in the grocery store when I heard something on the podcast that really resonated with me. That is the reason that I create this content for you. It's why so many of my clients listen before they become clients, because they love learning and thinking about the possibilities for themselves. When you can get back into that space of possibility or even curiosity, I'm figuring out how to get through this challenge. I'm figuring out how to handle this emotion. I'm learning how to navigate this kind of situation. I'm getting faster at building this skill all the time. When you get into that space, even if you don't quite believe it yet, it's hard for your brain to argue with that because it's hard for your brain to say, no, it's not possible. It's absolutely not possible that anyone could feel their emotions and be able to create something, because you have a ton of evidence that that's not the case. You have evidence from yourself, but you have a lot of access to evidence in the outside world that it is possible and that you can do it. Being in the energy of possibility completely changes the way that you approach things. In addition to feeling my emotions and letting them fade naturally, in addition to working on my possibility and my belief work, I also spent some time being around other people and getting inspiration from others. I don't know about you, highly sensitive person, but connection is one of my highest values. I get the most out of my connections when I'm showing up with an open heart, I'm curious, and I just want to listen and hear what the other person has to say, and then have that fun brainstorming session where you're trading ideas or insights, or you can resonate and understand each other on such a deep level. This is the addictive part of high sensitivity, when you can have those deep connecting conversations with other people. In my own little vacuum where I'm not getting any feedback from other people and I'm cycling over the same things and reviewing the same things over and over again, I didn't feel like I had a lot of inspiration to go out and do new things. So I put myself in spaces where I could get back into growth, I could get back into learning, and having those conversations and the connections with other people helped me get new insights. It helped me come up with new topics for the podcast. It helped me self-reflect and put my own experiences into a different lens so that I can package it up and offer it to you and say, here's something really valuable that I've learned. Take what you like, leave the rest, and use it in your day. By being in community with other people and connecting with other people, I was able to tap back into that type of inspiration where new ideas are coming to me all the time. The universe works through each of us. If you're not getting the message from your typical channels, go talk to someone, go connect with someone, go be a little bit vulnerable and tell them that you're lacking motivation or you're feeling stuck, and see what they say. Come at it with an open heart and an open mind. Take what works for you and leave the rest. By going out and connecting with other people, I came up with so many great topics that I couldn't wait to share. I shared about the podcast and my struggles with it, and so many people told me, I would love to hear your podcast. Send me the information when you get a chance. It helped me connect. It also reinforced for me that people are interested and that they're getting value out of these topics. This is how I've restructured my time around my energy, how I was able to shift dense energy into lighter energy, and then to take that and apply it into action so that I could share information that would be helpful for you. For you, dear highly sensitive person, your first step is to become aware and take a minute to think through this. You don't have to write anything down or make this a fancy session where you meditate for 30 minutes. Just think about your day. When do you feel most energized? Do you notice that you tend to work on a daily cycle, a weekly cycle, a monthly cycle, or a seasonal cycle? How does your energy level shift and change as you're going through your life and as you're going through your day? You have a ton of data that you can refer back to find these patterns. Think about what your energy levels look like. And then I want you to think about what's the block that's getting in your way. Is it that you're not making the time? Is it that you're feeling a lot of resistance or intense emotions and you're not feeling through them? Is it that you're not believing in possibility and you're not in an energetic space where you can actually get behind the thing that you want to do? Or do you simply need to learn and grow and get more information from other people? Do you need to go out into the world and have some new experiences in order to pull in the motivation or the inspiration that will help you go out and do the thing that you want to do? Once you have the answer to these questions, you have already given yourself a ton of awareness. Then you can decide how you would like to shift your energy. This comes down to your beliefs. This comes down to your possibility. It comes down to feeling your emotions. It comes down to thinking through how you would like to proceed and then working with people that you trust in order to create those plans and to execute on them. If you would like help with that, that's exactly what I do with my highly sensitive people. I go first, I prove that these things can be done, I make it replicable, I help my clients through it, and I can help you through it too. If you are interested in working with me and learning more, go to my website at stephanielinn.com, that's Linn, and book a call. The conversation is completely free and I will help you see these things. You can get a sense for my energy. It's very much like what I'm putting into these podcast episodes. I can help you see where these blocks are coming up and how to work through them. I can also help you design your schedule and design your time according to your energy, which I have done with clients recently, and it has been magical. To recap, no matter what your hormone cycles are, and as a highly sensitive person, you have a different energy cycle than other people. What your particular energy cycle looks like and how it feels for you is good information for you to use to your advantage so that you can make progress in your energy windows. Rest when you need to rest. Do when you want to do, and focus that in your energy windows so that you can flow with your own cycles, you can flow with your own hormones, you can flow with your own emotions and mental states. If you are feeling stuck, it might be because you are not feeling your emotions, you are not working on your belief or your possibility that something can change, and you might just need some additional input from outside, from someone that you trust or from a community that feels really good for you so that you can shift your energy and get back into the space you want to get back into. I can tell you from experience that when you take action from an aligned place, it is completely different from when you take action trying to force it and trying to follow that productivity mandate. I have taken so many actions from a place of willpower and a place of resistance, where I was taking the action, recording the podcast, putting out the email, sending out an invitation via text message, creating a social media post, and I was forcing it. My energy didn't feel good, and that translates to people. There's an energetic piece to people's energy that you can sense as a highly sensitive person. Even if I showed up with not quite the cleanest energy, I can still see that there was value there and I'm really proud of what I created. I can also compare that to what I'm creating now and the energy that I'm bringing now and how clear and energized I feel in this space. When you can do that, which you totally can, highly sensitive person, suddenly things start to happen. You start to get momentum. Things start to shift. You're making progress and you're using your high sensitivity to its highest good. You do not have to be stuck, and you do not have to let your energy levels be dictated by outside circumstances. You have the power at any time to tap back into your own energy cycles because you have infinite capacity to create something that really wants to be created through you. The universe wants to channel through you whatever your unique message or your unique action is. So the sooner you get in touch with your own energetic cycle, the sooner you can channel that energy to your highest good and to do the thing that you were meant to do. As highly sensitive people, I think that the world needs us more than ever. This isn't just a thought. I believe that the world needs us more than ever. The world needs people who want more meaning, who want more depth, who want to create community and connection, who really care about things. When you align your energy with your high sensitivity and with the things that you want to do, you can go out and change the world, starting with yourself and rippling outwards. I am really excited to hear how this goes for you. Please leave a comment in below the YouTube video, or if you are listening on the podcast, you can leave a comment, or you can always go to stephanielynn.com and send me an email as well. I have a contact form that you can use at any time. I would love to know how this is resonating for you. Like, review, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.
Thanks for listening. If you're ready to take what you learned today to the next level, head over to stephanielynn, that's LINN.com, and book a consultation call to get started. I can't wait to see you there, my dear HSP.